Hey, what's going on, guys? It is OGC here. Welcome to a new segment called Welcome to My Mind. In the Welcome to My Mind videos, we're going to talk about whatever's going on in my mind. Pretty cool, right? So, for today, we're going to look at patch 1.21.06, which came out on Tuesday, May 28th, 2019, as far as an upcoming update and everything else. So this is I'm going to give you my thoughts on it and the game state in general. I guess that's what these segments of what's on my mind will be all about. Also, the group raids is currently going on. It's an event in the game. If you need help with it or you want to understand how to do it, go into my videos. I'll put the link in the description of this video so that you can find the group raids. That way you can dominate them. So for this patch, we have Greetings Commander. Servers will be suspended on June 4th at 1 a.m. UTC for 2 hours while they get the new patch. So what's going on in this new patch? First, we look at Rose. Speed Hatchling is removed. Lingering Death is a new ability. I'm assuming it's going to take place of that. I don't know. I don't play PTR or anything. I have the same information as you guys. I figure I'll just give my honest thoughts about the upcoming information. So, Lingering Death, when enemies poisoned by Rose or friendly spiders fall in battle, they release a curse that roosts nearby enemies for 3 seconds, preventing them from casting abilities, attacking, reducing their evade chance, and damaging them every second. If this right here, um, if this affects heroes, this is going to put Lich as the race. Everyone's going to switch back to Lich if this affects heroes for the rooting of everything. I don't know. That would be really overpowered. I don't know how I would feel if that's how it works. If it just affects troops, cool. That will mostly affect reduce the range damage a little bit. If it affects heroes, totally game breaking. Then we got the Spider Queen. The power of the Spiderling is that Rose summons skills with her level. Cool. Spiderweb is normal. Venom Explosion, normal. Toxic Touch will reduces the attack of poisoned enemies. That's cool stuff. Yeah, because it's when enemies poisoned by Rose or a friendly spider die in the battle. So it's the unit that they damage that dies. So say your Rose or Spider attacks a backline archer for humans, and then that archer dies. That's just gonna swallow up that unit, and that's crazy. If that locks onto like Jax or Mako or another huge hero like that, um, that's gonna be nuts. All right, so with Warwick's, his Abyssal Light will restore more health and deal more damage. Curse Light, friendly attack buff increase and enemy attack buff. Uh, it's enemy attack debuff increase. Cool. Lunar Light, friendly attack speed. So pretty much, Warwick's lanterns are getting a slight buff. That will help me out with siege, I guess. Warwick's can be pretty cool. I have not managed to make mine amazing yet. Someday, when I have so many extra points in research and everything else, I will do that. By the way, all this stuff for Rose, she's going to be even more epic than she already is. Next, we have Gazul, Soulless Scourge update. As the souls hit the enemies, it will reduce healing efficiency. Oh, it's doubled for heroes as well. So um, that's going to be another huge boost for Lich. It might be useful just to use that skill just to help reduce everything. Um, all right, so next, Skeleton Sacrifice greatly increases the base health and damage of the Skeleton Titan. Cool. I still don't see that being a viable skill. During siege is useful. You can summon it behind the walls of the castle if you just have extra points or whatever, and Gazul happens to be out there. because you can only get so many melee troops on the wall to deal damage to plunder. So if you summon it behind the enemy's wall, you can probably get like an extra 200 gold off of that giant attack. This is where we're getting to now is probably the part that I'm most interested in. So humans, reduce training time and recovery of cavalry by 10%. Cavalry for human is slightly better than it used to be since they got the base health and damage increase. They have Elena to scale up with. The cavalry, I don't know how to word it. If you're positioned properly with the spears, the cavalry can be very strong, but it's very niche. So most of everything with the human race is there's a time and a place for every unit. So if you don't have a high enough gold cap and you just have to use something just to fill up space, it's not going to be as beneficial as using all the units that have a specific niche. Human is full of very niche units. Pretty much every one of human's units is amazing and worth using at some point in time. Both all three of their front lines, because you have the cavalry, the spearmen, and the swordsmen. All of them are amazing in different situations. Even their range, priests versus or the saints versus archers, they both have their place, and when you put them in their place, they're very strong. If they are not in their place, then they're weak. So yeah, human takes a lot of thinking. Um, I wish human got a little bit more of a buff, then I'd switch back to them for PvP and everything. All right, guys, here we go. This is the big one. Dwarf. The 6 minor update now includes the elite battle whatever. I don't know what that is. So somebody please in the comments below let me know what that is. We have dwarfs. Engineers are enchanted with 35% bonus armor. So if anyone missed it, because nobody plays dwarf, the engineers used to just have a bunch of health. Lilith changed that a couple patches ago. Excuse me. And since they changed it, now that same amount of health got broken up into 2 different things. Half of it is health, half of it is armor. So essentially, overall, this is going to be a health or a health bonus in the sense of armor for the miners. The effect of concussion has been added to crushing consecutive hit and reduce training time and recovery time by 5%. All right, so honestly, I think that dwarfs are becoming more and more viable. I don't know if it's 100% yet, but hear me out. The miners in most situations, not all, but in a fair amount of situations, the miners will outperform your max. As shocking as that is, and that's current day today. So once they get the 35% bonus armor, which will give them more health, or health essentially, I think that the miners will be a viable front line, or even more so than currently, followed up with snipers, especially versus things like Sliff, or even Dwarf running with all of the scorpions in the front line. I think having snipers in the back, snipers are insane, man. Especially if you get the awakened ones that can automatically reload their ammo. I think Dwarf might actually be rounding the corner. It might be playable for non-whales eventually. Now, Lich, because Lich is underwhelming and Lich needs help, and Lich never has... Lich needs love. So resurrected bone soldiers and Diabloists, so the skeletons, that are more than 1 level higher, don't stay with you. That's cool. Whatever. Pretty much they're just doing what they said that they were going to do before, where you can only hold on to troops that are 1 level higher than your mummies, or the whatever they're called now that summon humanoids. So now they're pretty much doing that. You can summon higher level than that, but what you hold on to is just up to one level higher. So if I have level 14 mummies, at the highest I can only hold on to level 15 skeletons. And we have reduced training time and recovery time of scorpions by 10%. That is awesome. I don't know about you guys, but training scorpions took forever, and healing them took forever. So I'm happy that scorpions are getting a little bit of love. Uh, I know not everyone likes to use scorpions. I think scorpions are still. Um, I think right now scorpions in Huntresses are probably the strongest front line. I love Scorpions. I'm not going to lie. I'm super biased. I've always liked Scorpions. They keep getting buffs. So I mean, how can you not like them? Then we have Sliff. Sliff, reduced training time and recovery for trees and Huntresses. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lilith. My biggest is 15% for the trees and 10% for the huntresses. My biggest pet peeve is when a stupid sniper pops up and takes out one of my trees when I'm just trying to do my daily honor farm on guard towers. I don't think that's ever happened, but it is the biggest pet peeve in the world. Usually just if I attack a dwarf player that happens, but it takes like 18 hours, maybe 19 hours to make a level 14 tree. That's insane. If I start eating into my troop rush, I only have 31 days of troop rush, and that means I can only make like what 40 trees. Come on now. I'm thrilled about this. I'm very happy. Sliff needed that. It's nothing that changes the game too much, but it definitely will help them all out. Clash of Fate. So Clash of Fate, the next season starts on June 15th. Houses will have a week before the championship to assemble a list of people in it. The Lord Minister can choose a maximum of 20 members. The most powerful 64 teams across all realms will be seeded into the championship at the end of the week. All other houses will participate in normal Clash of Fate. So pretty much there's normal Clash of Fate, and then there's going to be Whale House Clash of Fate. The Whale House Clash of Fate, if you're that 64th team and you barely made that cut, geez, you are going to get destroyed. It's going to be ugly. I feel bad. It is pretty good. I've been on Clash of Fate teams when Core Power first came out, and there was the average was like 25, 2600 Core Power, like the top people on the team. And I mean when Core Power first came out. So when the highest level was level 40, and my core power was like under 1500. Now it's well over 1800. We had people over 3000 core power, and it was insane. So that's good. Give them their own tier. For most people, and most people that watch this video and benefit from this, probably aren't going to fall into that realm. But the Clash of Fate Championship will consist of a group stage and multiple elimination stages. So they're turning it more into a into like a bracket elimination type of thing. Cool. That's pretty much what all the stuff talks about. After round of 32 and onwards, the matchups are determined randomly, which means if you are that 64th team that you barely made the cut, like your team power is maybe 60 million, you could be going up against the number one team with like 100 million power and just get blown out of the water. But it's cool because it's something to shoot for. Apart from the rewards of the house win records, all of the 32 top houses will get rings. That's cool. For the purposes of calculating rewards, each championship loss will count as a win. Okay, all right, so that's pretty cool. So if you do make it into that top tier, then every win that you get, I mean every fight you get counts as a win when it comes to getting those divine dragon eggs, etc. So maybe they put this in to offer some type of incentive for people to stack up power. So currently, if I go into Clash of Fate with my team, I'll have everybody get naked. I'll have everyone put in on level 1 dragons, and do everything that we can to drop our team's power. That way we get matched up with people that are weaker than us. so we can get an easy win. So maybe this is Lilith's roundabout way of killing two birds with one stone. One stone would be incentivize people to play with their strongest team, keep your dragon out, keep your gears on. That way you fight people that you should be fighting. And number two, offer a more competitive scene for Clash of Fate. So good call on Lilith's side. I think that's cool. Next is Badge of Bravery. So participants in Clash of Fate earn Badge of Braveries after Season 1 of Clash of Fate Championship begins. They can be exchanged for valuable equipment in the black market. There'll be 4 pieces available. I'm interested to see where they go with this and what those pieces of gear are like. I hope that they aren't too game-breaking. Chances are they will. Succession War. Players entering the Imperium during the Succession War, including the capture phase, occupies phase, and defending phase, are eligible to get war chests. All right, so I do like this. The hemoglobin, that effect thing is annoying. As somebody that's on a farm server, the Imperium is done and over with in a matter of minutes. It doesn't last long for that fight. If I sleep through that window, because for me it just happens to be Saturday morning when I should be sleeping, and I'm up by 4 a.m. at the latest every day. So if I can sleep in, I'm sleeping in. So if I miss that small window, then I don't get that second chest from it, and that sucks. So this just means that during the defending phase, all you need to do is log on at some point in time and attack, and you'll get the second chest. I think that this is cool. So Clash of Fate. Core power will be displayed on the Clash of Fate participants menu. I'm kind of bummed out about this. For me personally, totally selfish. I'll go in, I'll have teammates that have higher current power than me, and I'll delete all of my troops that I don't need and drop my power considerably, and then I can get a lot of fights, and then I get karma, and I have fun. I bring you guys cool content. Hopefully it's cool. Who knows what it really is. And that ruins that for me, because more likely than not, until I can transfer servers, I'll be towards the top of the house. So the top 20 houses in the realm are eligible to register for the Clash of Fate. I don't think this matters too much if what is there? There's like 6 kingdoms. If each kingdom had 2 houses in it, that's 12 houses. If you're, I don't know, this might affect newer servers or after server merges. I don't see this being a major thing. If you have more than if you have 21 or more houses on your server that can pull 20 people online at any given time, let me know that server. I want to be there because that is a populated server. Points and replays can be viewed in history. That's cool. I wonder how far back they'll hold on to the replays, because that might help me out with videos. In other updates, the total number of president formations have been increased to 8. Yes, thank you, Lilith. Giant win. And each race now has its own preset formations. I can't tell you how many times I switch races and I just won't make any presets because I don't want to ruin my main presets. So having this and having more options will be huge. Thank you, Lilith. I'm sure this is something that a lot of people have asked for a long time. The king can now migrate to another kingdom or transfer to another realm. Why would a king want to transfer to another kingdom? Don't know. The transfer to another realm, I get that. If like the whole house is going, I get that. You don't want to be that guy showing up to the party like 4 days late because you got to finish out kingship. Skin scrolls have been removed from one of the chests, and probabilities for the other ones have been adjusted. You can still get skin scrolls from Mithril, which I believe is the cheapest, the gold, and the next one up. You can now view which garrison troops are being pulled out. There was nothing in here about the transfer, so I'm hoping that that's still coming. But anyways, overall, my thoughts. I think my thoughts with this whole update, and Lilith, I hope you're not watching because it's a little bit of a compliment, a little bit of criticism. I think Lilith broke the game when they originally made Lich super strong. During the period of time where everybody was Lich and no other race was remotely competitive, before Rockin got its giant buff. So if we go before Rockin's giant buff, when everybody was Lich, during that time period, I think Lilith tried to balance things out, and the pendulum swung so far into the Lich corner that Lilith then had to come out and swing it, like force it into the Rockin corner. Now that it's in the Rockin corner, all balance is lost in the game. Dwarf has been obsolete for a long time. Uh, for I don't know, probably the first year that Art of Conquest was out, if you could afford to go Dwarf, Dwarf was the best. Probably for the first year of the game, arguably a couple other unique things, but if you could afford that in the old school days, that was the best. Now it's almost laughable to go Dwarf for anything besides Void. So with that initial push for Lich before from Lilith, where they originally broke the game, ever since then, it seems like they're doing at least two patches a month. What was it? April we had two patches. May we had two patches. Let's say beginning of June. I guarantee you guys, before June is over, there will be another patch and/or update, at least one more. And I don't recall it being this frequent before, but what I think is going on here is Lilith overcorrected Lich originally. So to create balance, they overcorrected Rockin. And now what's going on is they're trying to artificially rebalance something that they broke, which is all the races. There's like 5 races and only like 3 of them are playable, and for all different specific things. And 2 of them are really obsolete right now. So I would call that broken for me. I'd want at least 4 out of 5 to be somewhat competitive in most aspects of the game. If you have that one that needs that buff, cool. But for right now, it just seems too out of sync. So everything's out of balance. There's all of this new content coming out, which is fantastic. But when it comes to the balance of the game, everything's just so wacky right now. If you want to see how wacky it is, go back and look at the patch notes for everything related to Lich. It's like 1 week Lich gets buff, then debuff, then buff, then debuff. Okay, then we buff Sliff, then we nerf Lich. Then all of a sudden, bam! It's like they can't make up their minds, and it's slightly frustrating because it's hard to plan long term in the game when it changes this drastically every 2 weeks, especially with all of the Lich stuff. So I'm hoping that things get balanced out and get sorted out. I'm hopeful. I'm not overly optimistic. It is a game, and balance is the name of the game. So if you guys made it all the way through this video, please reach around and give yourself a big pat on the back because you are amazing. This is the segment of what's on my mind. So if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. If you have not smashed the big thumbs up button, smash the big thumbs up. And as always, guys, please stay safe out there in Nor. And I'll catch up with you guys soon. Tomorrow I'll have Void 131 Perfect coming out. I'll do something cool for Friday. And I'll talk to you guys soon.